What's up, family? I just stopped in here real quick just to drop you a little video, give you something to think about. First of all, I want to say thanks for you taking your time to come in and listen to what I got to say. Hopefully it gives you something to think about and stirs up your cognitive way of thinking. All right? Before I get into that, I want to say thanks again for stopping in. Don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate if you hit that share and subscribe. That'd be great too. But anyway, let's get back to what I was here to tell you about. Check this out. You know when you're in your I'm just gonna be literal and just speak without trying to watch my words, because this is my YouTube channel and say what the fuck I want to say, how I want to say it. I already talked about that. Anyway, when you're in your father's nuts, all right, before you got to that place where you were in the nutsack, you were somewhere alive, living, and then you went from wherever that was to the nutsack. And then when you went from the nutsack, you went to the womb. You left the nutsack. You left the whole environment. You left the person that was carrying the nuts. You left all the rest of the little sperm cells and all the everything else that was in there. You left all that shit. You went into the womb. This is a completely new environment. You know, it's nothing like where he was just at. There's other things going on over here, so it's like kind of foreign. Trying to figure out what's going on. Anyway, you're in your mom's belly, right? You stay there for 9 months. For the most part, you stay there for 9 months, and then you leave that environment, which this is an environment which you should come to know and comfortable. You've been living in there. You got familiar with the other organs that's in there. You know, you know what's going on in there. You leave there, like you left your daddy's nuts. You leave out of there, and you go to a whole nother environment that's not like the one you was just in. You leave behind all the organs that you were used to, the blood, I mean, not the blood, all the different body parts that you got to know while you was in there, the umbilical cord, the placenta, the everything that you embedded in. You left all that shit. You went into another environment, which is the environment that we're experiencing right now, or what you're experiencing watching me in this video, in this environment. It's not like the environment that you was just in a minute ago, or when you was in your mother's womb. And now you're in this environment. Now you stay here for a little while, and I don't know how long you be here. But then we leave this environment and we go to another one. And it kind of it's fair for me to assume, based off of the previous experiences, that it's going to be kind of like the previous experience. That's all I got to go on, right? So where I was going with this whole little clip here was, why is it that only in this experience that we call, when we leave this environment and go to the next one, why do we call this one a name? Why do we call this one death? And why is this transition, or how is this transition any different than the other transitions, like from the nutsack to the mother's womb? From the mother's womb, I mean, there was like no funeral and shit like that. When you left your nutsack, when they left your father's sack, all the other sperm cells and all the other shit that's in there, they didn't have like a, you know. And then when you went to your mom's and you left out of there, you left the umbilical cord, you left the water, you left all the extra organs, all the shit that's in there. The sack that you was in, you left all that shit. The sack that you was in was done away with, like a corpse is done away with, or like a body is done away with. I don't mean to say like a corpse, but like a body is kind of like when somebody died, their body is kind of like it's like kind of like earthy materials. You know, it's made out of this environment's material. The when you left the mother's womb, that was made out of, you know, the same environment's material. So where I'm going with this is what I'm trying to figure out is why is this stage, when we go from this stage to the next stage, why is this one the one that we have to have all these curriculars to be, before we leave this environment, before we leave this experience, we have to meet all these demands and have all these different criterias and stuff that you got to do before you go to the next one, which that wasn't required when we went from the nuts to the womb, and from the womb to this earthly experience realm. None of those, we didn't have to, you know, when we left the nuts, we didn't have to. We didn't go to like a heaven or a hell, as far as we know that we'll go to this time. We just went to another beginning, and then when we left there, out of our mother's womb, and we came into this world. When we was in the mother's womb, we didn't have to. We didn't have a bunch of requirements we had to do before we could be into this experiment. You know, you didn't have a bunch of, I mean, all the rest of the body didn't mourn the loss of you being born on this side. In fact, your mom was happy and anticipated the moment that you were born. It, it wasn't like the parents is like saying, "Oh no, don't be born because all this stuff in my body that's going to be left over is going to be, it's going to die. It's going to be sad. I'm going to have to do away with this." No, it's not like that. The reward is the next experience. You know, when you're born. So, what I want to know, in your opinion, how and why do we have criterias from this experience to the next one? It just doesn't come on. I mean, just tell me something. Tell me, if you could tell me anything, tell me why we didn't have any kind of funeral services for the previous exiting from realm to realm, from realm to realm, from realm. How come we didn't have those criterias during that time? Because obviously, this one, we're supposed to be born into sin or hell, or it's bad. But from the nuts to the womb wasn't either or. From the womb to this realm wasn't either or. But from this one to the next one, a bunch of shit you gotta do. How's that work? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with somebody. If you don't know, share it with somebody. Maybe they know. How does all this work? I'm just trying to give you something to think about. That's just what I was just thinking about. I just thought I'd come on in and drop that on you. Peace out.